Okay. Give thanks and praise for life. All right. All right. So this is where we are right now in this space of time. And I just want to first and foremost give thanks and praise to all the ones who came forward and continue to watch and continue to take word and to take heed from this particular circle of the internet. Over my years of study, I've come to realize that there's more to the world than just my, little circle of the world. There's more to the world than um, just what I see within my reality and my algorithm. When we step outside, we step into the world, we see all types of different people. We see all types of different, from different walks of life, different ones, different forms of life. And this is a revelation, a realistic revelation that I've come to over the years. And I think it's important that we all come to that revelation that the world is much bigger than our immediate communities. The world is much bigger than our household. And it's important to um, stand for what you stand for within your community and within your household, while at the same time truly understand and understand that the world is bigger than you. Truly understand that there's more to the world than what you are experiencing within your own little world. So that's more of a humility type of greeting before I start this video, because I do see that this particular circle and this particular realm of reasonings that we share here within this Amun healing circle, and I will expand it out to the greater Rastafari circle as a whole. Um, we do uphold a very ancient way of life that can be a large benefit to the people at large, the people in the world, from what we devote ourselves to as far as the liberty and the eating habits. Many people in the world right now, I mean, I can attest to some of the clients that I have. They would love to learn more about this liberty, the fresh fruits and vegetables and what to eat and, you know, just everything pertaining to that, because we see that as a huge issue in the world at large is, the health conditions of some people. Diabetes, heart disease, different type of health ailments are a problem in the world. And that goes whatever circle you're in. You watch the TV, you may watch the news, and you see that the health epidemic is a thing. And not even watching TV, even. I mean, you go to grocery stores, you go into places in the world, and you see that. Another thing that's a problem today in the world is like the mental. A lot of people talking about the mental health, and we as Rastafari can bring that type of insight, because we understand, like, just being in nature, for instance, planting a garden. That's something that is rooted within our culture, that we can bring to the world, and kind of be a remedy of source, a remedy. But at the same time, again, bring it back to my original point, it's truly moving with that understanding, truly moving with that compassion, and not being a forceful force on ones, but definitely representing that within yourself, being that living example. So, give thanks and praise for life. And within that intro, I'm going to get into the video now, because what I'm going to bring forward today is something that we within this community, we need to remind ourselves of. And I feel called now to bring more of this insight to that community, because it gives more of a reason why things are within our community, and how we can bring that into the world, not forcefully, but through example and through embodiment. Bring that into the world for a benefit and for a beneficial. So, with that being said, this here reasoning today is going to be on the judges. So we're going back to biblical. Take your mind back to biblical times and there was a time where Israel, the nation of Israel, didn't have any kings. This was like before Saul, which was the first king. Israel didn't have any kings. And Israel was more or less, I don't want to say ruled by, but Israel was governed by different judges, right? So the judges were the ones that were the elders of that community. So there was no central king. There was no one person to say, this is how it's going to be, you know. But other nations had kings. But Israel was always set apart. Like we were always different. We were always different from the other nations. So there came a point in time where um, the elders of Israel came to the prophet Samuel. And the prophets were also highly respected. So this was the hierarchical order. You had the judges and the elders. These judges and elders highly revered and they highly respected the prophets. And they were supposed to respect the prophets. The prophets were like special people in that they really were in tune with life and they brought a lot of messages from God. They brought a lot of insights, they brought a lot of information to the community because of their deep connection with God and life. So the prophets were always respected. Though the prophets weren't always listened to, and this became a lot of the issues with Israel, is that they didn't quite listen to the prophets all the time. But nonetheless, the prophets held a very important role within that societal structure. So I'll read from the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 8. It says that all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel in Ramah and said to him, "Look, you are old, and your sons do not walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." So these again were the elders of Israel coming to Samuel and saying to him, we need a king. They didn't need a king, but they wanted to be, for some reason, they wanted to be like the other nations. So they said to Samuel, appoint us a king, anoint a king unto us, because you are the prophet and you're kind of like the leader now, but we don't know who's going to come after you. Usually it's the sons. You teach it to your son, but your sons don't want to live that lifestyle. They don't want to go about life in that way. They don't want to inherit that. So we need somebody. And this was, to me, now this is my interpretation, that this was a little bit of a disappointment to Samuel. Because Samuel, this is my interpretation, Samuel is like, you are the children of the Most High God. God gave you the commandments. God gave you the covenant law. You don't need a king over top of you. You, every man and woman, be the king and the queen of your home, your household. And you live amongst the other kings and queens of your community, so to speak. Not technical kings, but just kings in how you sovereignly govern yourself. The law was given to you. And I have the Nazarene scriptures here that goes into the original law. We shall read it someday. But that law was given to you. So why do you now want a king, a ruler, an earthly ruler, to rule over top of you? When Jah gave you dominion from beginning. Just follow the law. You have dominion over the earth. You are God's representatives on the earth, children of God on the earth. We have dominion. So there really should be no other man ruler over top of you. But here now I want to go back to the judges and to make the connection how I believe it's still like that to this day. I think those of us who do choose to step into our godhood under the guidance of Yeshua the Christ, because Yeshua was that example. He was priest king of the Melchizedek order under the auspices of the bloodline of King Solomon and King David, son of man. All of these things. He said, many of you will do the things that I do and even greater. It is my personal belief that Yeshua laid the blueprint. He laid the foundation. He was a reminder, just like the prophets of old. He was a reminder. He was the reminder. He came at a particular time. And that's how I and I should govern ourselves today. In my belief, we should take responsibility. We should slowly move towards a more responsible way of life so that we don't need another human overhead over top of us. We have the covenant law. We are the children. We are the, So, with that being said, I want to go back to the judges because what I found recently in my readings was more confirmation of what many will call the Nazarites and the Nazarenes. Yeah. So, again, these judges. So these judges, and this is where we bring in the dreadlock, because these judges of those times, they adorned their hair in long locks. And this was how you distinguish one of these judges, one of these community leaders, from the lay people. And I also think this is why when you see old pictures of United States judges, they had like wigs. They used to wear wigs, with the locks down. I think that they were trying to imitate these ancient judges. This is just, again, my connections. And you let me know if it kind of makes sense to you too. But I'm going to read this here, this scripture, or this passage from this book. And this book that I'm reading here, get it if you can, it's called Rastafari, the Essene Nazarite Link. It's a good one. So in the book it reads, in those days when judges ruled the people of Israel, a covenant of locks, referring to the hair, was the outstanding sign of every judge, setting them apart from every other man. My dog wants to get out the cage. Soon come, soon come. For the judges wearing the covenant of locks was an insignia of high moral and spiritual conduct. The prophet the prophet and mystic Samuel was the last to judge Israel under the Mosaic law, handed Israel over to a new era of judgment, wherein the judge rules as king under the covenant of a crown as king. So now, the original covenant, according to this passage, the original covenant was the locks. The crown was the locks that the judges, that the prophets, that those leaders within the community, they would wear those, and that was a sign um, of their way. Their way was one where the people respected it, the people honored it, and those were like the wise ones, the mystics of the community. So we continue here. That was so the wherein the judges ruled as king under the covenant of a crown. So let me go back a little bit. Okay, so Samuel, who was the last judge, excuse me, was the last to judge Israel under the Mosaic law, handed Israel over to a new era of judgment, wherein the judge rules as king under the covenant, uh, under the covenant of a crown as the king. Henceforth, the new judges of Israel, the kings, who sat on the royal throne, wore a new covenant, the covenant of the crown. Even after Israel became a kingdom, however, the Nazarites continued to exist, their locks a judgment and a reminder of the law, especially to corrupt kings who were to rule over Israel. Elijah was a prophet of this type, the forerunner of many others that were to come. So, I'll begin to close the video off now, but this is kind of the essence of what we're talking about is the crown, like the worldly crown, probably made of gold or something, was then bestowed onto kings of Israel. Saul being the first one, followed by David, followed by Solomon, so on and so forth. But this crown represented the worldly king, the king who ruled the people from a throne. But the Nazarites, the prophets, these mystics that we were talking about before, that lineage continued. And even when Saul was king, Samuel still held that mantle and still tried to tell Saul certain things. And these prophets continue to exist and do continue to exist till this very day. And this is where I believe many of us come into play. Those of us who hold on to that anciency, those who still chant word sound vibrations like Rastafari, because that's what it is. Rastafari truly is that anciency coming all the way down into the modern day. And even before this scripture here, even before this, you had the Essenes, the Nazarite Essenes. And we've always been the same ones, just coming through, coming through, coming through. So even from now until future time, we lay down these blueprints, we lay down these things for those in the future that want to take up this mantle. Because check, Lord knows the world still needs this. The world still, and this is from my experience. This is outside of my immediate communications. I'm looking at the world, and the world needs this because of the movies and stuff, and because of the societal norms. What has been going on without anyone correcting it. So now it's become the norm because of the world leaders, because of so many things. That reminder is still needed. So those of us who choose to take up this way and this wave, I think that it's very important to understand who we are now, who our forefathers were, and who the future generations will be that also take up this way of life. It's necessary. We are continue to be the reminders in society. And you can do this a myriad of ways. You can be that one that goes to people and talks to people right there, tells them about themselves. Many prophets were like that. They just went to the society and told the leaders about themselves. John the Baptist was like this. Told the leaders about themselves. You can be the one that just creates small classes and you just educate those who want to come. You can be the one that, you be that example in your workplace. And to my Christian brothers and sisters, I think also too, this is what we're talking about as well, is being that Christ example in the world where it's not easy. See, I think the Christians of the day, they're like, because we're all within a Christ body, because the Christ body is about bringing uh, a fullness of life into the world, where it's anti-Satan, because Satan is to kill, steal, and destroy. That's the adversary. So when you talk about the Christ, you're the opposite of that. Instead of killing, you want to bring life. Instead of stealing, you want to give. Instead of destroying, you want to build. So that's who the Christ body represents. So I think a lot of our Christian brothers and sisters today are those ones who they're like the missionaries to be in the world and set the example in the world, in the workplaces, in the grocery stores, in the places where people mingle. Whereas a lot of the ancient Nazarite trod kind of people, they are the ones who really are in nature. You see a lot of Rastafari Nyabingi ceremonies, they take place in nature somewhere because these type of people are different. They're set apart in such a way where they're like in a mountain somewhere, you know? Like up in the bush. And we're all a part of the same team. Those ones that are in the society, doing the work in the society, and those ones that are up in the bush, we all still a part of the same team. And those ones of the society will oftentimes come up to the bush bungalow and recharge themselves spiritually and just recharge, get away from it and recharge and then, go forward again. And then ones from the bush would oftentimes come down with a serious message for the people down there, you know, a serious revelation to the pastors and the preachers and the ministers of the world. So we're all part of this Christ body. And, the point of this video was to share a particular revelation that I just received in regards to the crown, the long hair dreadlock crown being a sign of the judges of those times. And being a reminder, it was almost like an internal reminder to myself that this is the liberty that you've chosen to take up and to navigate, you know, to navigate and do the works and to share this to other people who may also be of that countenance and be that reminder for them. This is how I choose to play my role on this particular day, is to put up this video, to share this information and let it resonate with those who it's supposed to resonate with. The goal here is not to reach everyone in the world. This is not a video that reaches everyone in the world. This is a video that reaches a particular circle of people. A few, maybe a few. I won't even say a few. I won't limit it. I would say just a certain circle of people. And as those people get the message, it inspires them to go out and do in the world, do the light in the world. And maybe it inspires more conversation, more questions, more dialogue. But this is how I choose to play this role on this particular day. Now, I do have some videos that are for everybody. It's a broadcast, a very broadcast. And many of those videos, some of you have seen already. But nonetheless, though, this is a fullness of revelation for me. And I just wanted to share that and give it to those who it's supposed to reach. And, give thanks and praise that, this ancient way is still present in the world today. It's necessary, and it hasn't changed since from that time to this time. It hasn't changed. It's the same, and it's a principle. And yes, I give thanks, and may every man and woman learn to be more and more of the priest and priestess of their household, the king and queen of their household, and operate within that, even in the world too, and yeah, we move in righteous judgment, and we move in the fullness of righteousness. That's really what it's about, and treat people good and good heart, you know, good heart, good heart, good heart, good heart, good heart. Within the Naya Bengi order, we say do good, do good, do good, do good, do good. And that's the frequency that we resonate, and we try to do our best to do that in every moment. So yes, I. This is the creation. This is the creation of this video, and this is the creation of the reasoning here. So I just want to say, give thanks and praise to all ones and ones who will pay ear and pay eyes and pay attention to this video. I give thanks and praise to all those in future times that will find this video. I say unto you, keep on the trod, because ones like myself and ones like, ones like ours, like ourselves, ones like us, we uphold this lifestyle even after time, because this is who we are. We are these representatives, no matter what lifetime, no matter what state, no matter what part of the world, no matter what part of the universe, no matter what part of creation. We are agents of the Most High God, bringing goodness, wellness, and mercy unto the world and to on creations we have become upon. So, those that will find this video today time, future time, past time, uh, continue on the trod. Let this way of life be an enjoyment to you. May you love this way of life. May you love going out into nature. May you love seeing the birds. May you love planting gardens. May you love helping children. May you love giving people genuine hugs. May you love the life you live. May you love your body as the temple and you feed it the right type of foods. May you just love all aspects of life. May this way of life bring you joy. May it not be a burden unto you. May it bring you the utmost joy. And may it bring you joy seeing the joy on other people's faces when they come upon this lifestyle, when they come upon you. And may you just continue to be an example in the world, the way our Christ, our Yeshua the Christ was, Jesus Christ, Hamashiach, the Holy One. May he be that example, that blueprint for you. May we study many of our elders, the good aspects of Moses, the good aspects of Enoch, the good aspects of all of the ancient patriarchs and matriarchs. May this lifestyle bring you joy. May this lifestyle bring you joy. And may we continue on this mission. Yes, I. Amen. Selah. Blessed love to you. Blessed love to all ones. And till next time. Real life. Peace.